walking in to the cottage. So very cool. We used to enter the home in a different spot, and I'll show you where. But and Jean and Uncle Terry have this place beautiful. They added this on. And then if you go over here, this was there when I was little. Yeah, it is. This used to be like the sunroom where we just hung out and stuff, but now it's like Uncle Terry works in here. He's a very good painter. And now they have an outdoor and Aunt Jean's piano. And over here we have a bay window, which we had before too, with the beautiful view. I remember Papa used to stay in this room for some reason. I don't know why, because it was a small room. And then next to that, really close, is the bathroom. And everything upgraded, but everything pretty well the same. And when Papa and Nana were staying here together, this was the room that he stayed in. And I know it's kind of a little scary because there's Dad. Mom loves that. But she puts his pillow in there. Yeah, this is the room that Papa and Nana used to stay in when Nana was alive, and then Nana passed away. So now, here's the thing. I still remember these steps coming down when I was a little kid, and they were scary because literally, they're really high. And there was a time this did not exist, and Jean and Uncle Terry did this. Really nice. But there was no bathroom upstairs. We all had to share one. I'm not going to go into the last bedroom because my sister's sleeping in it. But this your bedroom. Okay, so that window wasn't there. But I remember pictures on the wall, and I used to sleep, well, in this bed, except for when I was a baby. My crib was over there, and my two sisters stayed here and there, and my parents stayed in the room over there that I'm not going into. This is all authentic. This is all what I remember. There was a creepy little like thing at one point, like a little door that Danella and I used to think that there were creepy things coming out of it. But yeah, and then from up here, there's a beautiful view as well. And I remember this so well. As a child, like at, 4 or 5 years old. And by the way, this is a painting my grandfather painted. He was a painter, along with being an actuarian too. So yeah, art's a big part of our family. This, like I said, authentic, and I used to like to stand here and look out. Oh, and that painting there is of my grandmother, and my grandfather took it, and he loved a picture he took of her where she was just standing there. And yeah, that is my grandmother. Anyway, that is the cottage that I grew up in. Beautiful. This is how I have to go downstairs. I am going down, and I have to twist because that's really low. And I remember my father doing that. Yeah. My father always had to turn his head that way going down the steps, and now I do. Anyway, beautiful memories. Hi, it's me. All right, so I'm going to walk around where I was brought up in this beautiful cottage that Dad and my grandfather built. So to start with, there's lots of memories. We came I was here till I was 7 in Montreal, and then I moved to Turkey, and then we moved to London, Ontario. We came back to visit a few times, and then we moved to Montreal again, and we were here a little bit more often then because London was a bit of a stretch. I spent, I can't remember, I think it was about a month with my grandfather here one summer. Maybe it was 2 months, I don't know. When I was 14 as well. I used to help him clean the house and feed him and stuff. It was really kind of cool. He was living with us at the time. And yeah, this cottage was originally built by my dad and my grandfather, which is really kind of cool. We don't get here much anymore because being in Mississauga, we also have a cottage in North Kingston that Dad bought. This now cottage, since Papa passed away, is my Aunt Jean's, and she has done a beautiful job with Uncle Terry to upgrade it. It's absolutely beautiful, and she's just lovely. She lets us stay here during the times that we come to visit, which is not often, but when we do, we do. But look at the view. Like, this is just absolutely stunning. Brome Lake, I'm gonna switch over to, if I can find it. No, maybe not. I want to go back to the other way, but it's not letting me do that. Okay, never mind. Let's do this. So here is the view. And there's a lot of big houses that have grown across Brome. If we move up, they are much bigger than I grew up with. But there's, you know. Oh, by the way, that had snow on it 2 days ago. That's Brome Lake, and that's, Bromont, sorry. That was where I used to ski when I was a kid. And, yeah. Oh, and by the way, I just found out that this here is called the Rossi tree. So this is a tree that my nephew planted when he was just a little kid. My nephew passed away in 2008, I believe. He was only 23. But yeah, and so my uncle and aunt are very, very protective of that tree, which is such a beautiful thing. The home behind us over here, or next to us, sorry, that was Dr. Betts built it. He was an architect. He was actually brilliant in his design. The people who purchased it, they bricked it. So it used to be boards, but now it's all bricked. And they did a really good job. They expanded a bit of it, but it still looks the same, which is really nice. There's a lot of, as everywhere, a lot of big houses that have been growing across and around the Brome Lake, and it's the highways are a lot busier, let me tell you. So we came here to see my Aunt Jean, my Uncle Terry. My Aunt Jean is 90, and we just did like 11,000 steps together with Janet. It was really cool. Like, she's amazing. She still kayaks. She skied until a couple of years ago. You know, would make my father proud. It was my father's sister. And my dad skied black diamonds until he was 83 and he had his stroke. So, God bless him. Had he not had those, he would have been just like her. I know it. Uncle Terry is beautiful and so funny. And it was so fun to come and meet them and to see my cousin Michael and his wife Donna. Yeah, and the road trip with my sister and my mom being 89, it was like very cool. My uncle is like 91, I think. He's gonna be, no, I think he's 92, turning 93, regardless. And his sense of humor is still right there. He had a good night last night when we went for dinner. Doesn't always have good nights, but it was really great to come visit. I love my family. I think that these are the Easter weekends that we should all have, right? So anyway, with all that, I just thought I wanted to videotape this whole thing. We're going to go back up here. we're gonna go. So, silly, crazy memory that I had was my two older sisters pretended to be Anne and Marianne, and they were apparently aliens. And I remember when they told me that, what was it, Mary and Marianne were not real and that they were actually them. And I used to tell them how much I hated what my my sisters were doing to these aliens I thought was real. Oh my gosh, I was such a sucker. Anyways, right here in front of that tree post. I remember that. Yeah, just silly things. I remember, oh gosh, a lot of fun. I'm gonna twist this a little bit because it's turning. There we go. Yeah, we used to play hide and go seek in these places here. My cousins and I, Michael and Mark. I remember, oh my goodness, this part here that I'm gonna show you. This is where the most beautiful fireflies come in when everything grows up, and oh my gosh, I remember that. They just fill like crazy. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, childhood memories, I love them. And I remember doing marshmallows and everything. Yeah, this is one of the houses that built me. I love that song, The House That Built Me. I've had many, and this is one of them. This is a cottage that built me, and it's fun to come back. And yeah, so here it is, the cottage that built me.